What if the thing you're ashamed of is actually the bravest thing you did all week? What if broken English isn't broken at all? What if it's just proof that you showed up? Let's start with a word, a small word, a heavy word, broken. We say it about our English all the time. Sorry, my English is broken. I only speak broken English. My English isn't good, it's broken. Think about that word for a second, broken. We use that word for glass, for bones, for things that don't work anymore, for things that need to be thrown away or fixed by someone else because they can't function on their own. Is that really what's happening when you speak English with an accent, or with a mistake, or with a pause while you search for a word? Or is something else happening? Something we've never given the right name to? He wasn't born a fast runner. In fact, as a child, he had an injury. It healed, but it left him with a small limp. Nothing serious, just enough that when he ran, he looked different. Not as smooth, not as elegant, not like the other runners. He loved running anyway, so he kept running. Every race people would notice, some would stare, a few, quietly, would laugh. He heard a voice in his head every single time. The voice said, "Everyone can see you're not like them. Everyone can see something is wrong with you. Maybe you should stop." For years, he almost listened to that voice. He almost stopped. But one day, an older runner, a woman who had run for decades, said something to him that he never forgot. She said, "You know, the people laughing at your limp have never finished a race in their life. They're sitting in the stands, you're on the track." He thought about that for a long time. She was right. The people commenting on how he looked weren't running. He was. His limp wasn't the problem. His limp was simply visible effort. It was proof that his legs were moving, even when moving was hard for them. It was proof that he hadn't given up. The smooth, easy runners weren't braver than him. They just had an easier body to run with. He had a harder body, and he still chose to run. That, my friend, is a different kind of speed. Not the speed of the legs, the speed of the heart that refuses to sit down. Now let's bring this back to you. When you speak English and it comes out uneven, a little slow, mixed with your native accent, searching for the right word halfway through a sentence, that is not brokenness, that is your limp. And your limp is not your shame. Your limp is visible effort. It's proof that your mind moved, that you took a thought from your heart, translated it into a language that isn't your mother tongue, and pushed it out into the world, in front of people, without knowing exactly how it would be received. Do you understand how much courage that takes? Most people never do that. Most people stay silent instead of risking an imperfect sentence. Most people would rather say nothing than say something with a mistake in it. You didn't stay silent, you spoke. That is not weakness. That is one of the bravest things a human being can do. Offer their voice to the world, knowing it's not polished, and trusting it anyway. Let's be honest about where this fear comes from, because it's not really about grammar. Somewhere, someone made us feel small for a mistake. Maybe a teacher corrected us harshly in front of the class. Maybe a classmate laughed. Maybe a stranger switched to a different tone of voice the second we mispronounced a word, as if we had suddenly become less intelligent in their eyes. That moment stayed with us. It planted a seed, and the seed grew into a belief. A mistake in English means something is wrong with me. But think about it honestly for a moment. When a baby learns to walk, they fall, again and again. Nobody in the room says, "Wow, that baby is broken." Everyone claps, everyone cheers, everyone says, "Look, they're learning." Why does that grace disappear the moment we grow up? Why do we give babies unlimited patience for falling, but give ourselves zero patience for stumbling over a sentence? You would never call a baby's fall broken walking. So please, stop calling your effort broken English. Call it what it actually is. English in progress. English that is still being built, brick by brick, inside you. Progress is never smooth. Not for walking, not for love, not for careers, not for language. Anyone who tells you progress should feel effortless has forgotten what real growth actually looks like. So how do we walk out of this shame and into something stronger? Here are 2 shifts. Simple, real. No grammar lecture needed. Shift 1. Rename the moment. The next time you make a mistake in English, don't call it failure. Call it evidence. Evidence that you tried. Evidence that you're growing. Evidence that you are one of the people willing to feel a little foolish today so you can feel a little more free tomorrow. Words matter. If you keep calling your effort broken, your mind will keep treating it like garbage. But if you call it brave, your mind will start treating it like something worth continuing. Try this. Say it quietly to yourself. That wasn't a broken sentence. That was a brave sentence. Feel the difference? Shift 2. Compare yourself only to yesterday's you. The moment we compare our English to someone who has spoken it their whole life, we lose. Every time. That comparison is not fair, and it never was. It's like comparing someone who started running last month to someone who has run for 20 years. Of course there's a gap. That gap isn't proof you're behind. It's proof of a starting date. That's all. The only honest comparison is this. Am I a little better than I was last month? Can you say one more sentence today than you could a year ago? Can you understand a little more than you could last summer? Can you order food, ask a question, write a message, hold a short conversation, a little easier than before? If yes, you are not broken. You are building. Let's paint a picture together of what bravery in English really sounds like. Because it's rarely loud, it's rarely perfect. It rarely sounds like a movie speech. Bravery sounds like, I think, maybe this idea good, sorry, I think this is a good idea. Bravery sounds like, can you say again, please? I not understand fully. Bravery sounds like a voice shaking a little on a phone call, in a job interview, in a video meeting, in a classroom, and continuing anyway. Nobody claps loudly for this kind of bravery. There are no medals for it. Nobody posts about it online. But it is bravery. Quiet, daily, unnoticed bravery. And here is something beautiful about it. Every single fluent speaker in the world walked through this exact stage. The confident businesswoman closing deals in English today once said sentences just as shaky as yours. The popular YouTuber speaking smoothly to millions once froze mid-sentence in front of a small class. They didn't skip the shaky stage. They walked through it, just like you're walking through it now. Let's return to the deeper truth, the one underneath all of this. Your worth is not your English. It was never your English. Your worth was decided long before you ever learned a single English word. It lives in how you care for people, in how you show up for your family, in your ideas, your kindness, your work, your effort, your heart. No accent can shrink that. No grammar mistake can erase that. But here's what English can do when you stop treating it as a judge and start treating it as a tool. It can carry your voice further than your hometown. It can let you apply for the job you've been afraid to try for. It can let you speak to your child's international teacher without a translator standing between your heart and theirs. It can let you read the book, watch the film, join the group, understand the world a little more fully than before. That is not about becoming worthy of anything. That is about becoming free. free from silence, free from shrinking, free from waiting on the sidelines while your life moves without you. So here is what I want you to remember long after this video ends. Your broken English was never broken. It was brave. It was you choosing to speak, even when speaking felt like walking on ground you weren't sure could hold you. You are not behind. You are becoming. And the world doesn't need your perfect English. The world simply needs your voice. So today, not next week, not when I'm ready, today, speak one sentence, just one. Let it be uneven, let it be shaky, let it be yours. Because a brave, imperfect sentence will always take you further than a perfect sentence you were too afraid to say.